All right, guys, my name's Tom. This is a real-world review of the Holley Sniper Quadrajet system. This is my 1968 Corvette 427 big block car. Now, over the winter, I had this thing pretty disassembled, replaced new front and rear suspension, adjustable front suspension, Borgson steering system, which is a much more modern steering system, Tremec TKO 500 5-speed transmission with overdrive, and a set of Doug's headers and side pipes. The Doug's, if you're looking for headers, man, these things, I've never had headers go on so easy and fit so well. But let's talk about the Holley system. That's the point of the video. Now, I called tech support for Holley when I considered doing this, and I spoke with a guy for about 15-20 minutes about what I wanted to do, my goals for the car, and then and based on his conversation, we recommended the Sniper. We went with the EFI Hyperspark system, which is their complete control. So it's complete computer control of spark, timing, ignition, everything, right back to a Holley EFI fuel tank. So it's basically replacing the whole system. He gave me a list of part numbers to buy, and I went ahead and ordered everything while I was waiting for things to come in. Now, I had the engine out of the car, transmission out of the car at that point, and I do have a service lift, so the car's up on a lift. Pulled the fuel tank and got ready to do the install, looked at how I was gonna run the lines. Now, my old fuel tank, I just scrapped that and got the new tank in, built it. Well, the new tank wouldn't fit, and no matter what I did, I couldn't get the fit. I called Holley tech support again and determined that I had the wrong tank. That tank does not fit a 68 Corvette. The guy had given me the wrong part number, so I had to return the tank. The problem is they don't make an EFI tank for a 68 Corvette, so I had to go out and buy a new fuel tank, and then they do make a fuel pump for it, a high pressure fuel pump, but I was out the money for the tank. I could have kept my original tank and just bought a fuel pump. I also had to pay about $70 to ship the wrong tank back, which that was a bit of a rub. But you know what, I had so much money into this car, I just didn't even worry about it. So anyway, I got the system, got it in place, and got everything set up, and it wouldn't start. I had zero fuel pressure. So again, I called Holley, and I'm not an EFI expert. I know a lot about engines and transmissions, and told them, and they said, well, you don't have a pressure regulator. And I said, well, I thought it was internal as part of the Sniper system. And the tech told me, well, on many it is, but on the Quadrajet it is not. Now, the original guy I spoke with had told me it was part of the Quadrajet. So I went ahead and ordered it's right there. That is a pressure regulator. In fact, I'm gonna walk over here, I'll get a better view of the setup. And had to wait for that, which I got it. And now I'm running it post, so I've got fuel coming into the car with a Earl's pressure gauge. It comes in, it comes out, and it just flows through the Sniper unit, and then right here is the pressure regulator. So now it backs up, so the pressure from here back is 60 PSI, and my return line is here, then the other line is capped. Now the other option would be to put the pressure regulator before the Sniper, run this line to the Sniper, and just cap the outlet out of the Sniper unit. Got that running, fired it up, and it fired up and started, but it was running super rich, just pouring fuel into it. And so I shut it down, called Holley, and got on. I called them from my office. I wasn't with the car, and just told them what was happening. They said it was most likely a vacuum leak. And Corvettes have vacuum actuators for the headlights and everything, so I figured I must have missed something. So I went and just basically disconnected and plugged all the vacuum lines. There's only a handful of them in here. So I knew I had no vacuum leaks, fired it up, had the same problem. Called Holley again, and I had a tech with me. I was out pulled the car out. We had the car running, and he was going through on the little touch screen some of the sensors and the settings with me for about 15 minutes. Now, at this point, I've got fuel dripping out of the exhaust system. There's so much gas running through this car. It's barely running. And then he told me, he goes, look, I'm gonna put you on hold. I wanna go check a notebook. Puts me on hold, and he never came back. I shut the car off, went into my office, started doing some work, and 30 minutes went by, 35 minutes. Finally, I just hung up. So I called back. Now, each time you call Holley tech support, you're gonna wait about 15 to 25 minutes to get to a tech. Got another tech. This guy seemed to know a little bit more. Went out and he started working through some of the issues and said, you know what? Just send me a data log. He showed me how the handheld device that's part of the Holley system, which actually is pretty cool piece. It's got a little SD card in it. So I recorded the car running for about 30 seconds and then downloaded that and emailed it to him. And I have not heard back from him now. And I've sent him a couple more emails with no responses. I sent him an email just saying, hey, did you get the data? Let me know that you received it. I've got nothing. He's gone complete radio silence. I reached out to Holley through their website, tech support, filled that form out, and they said they'll get back to me sometime next week. So the nuts and bolts are, I've got this car that's, I spent a lot of time and effort to build a really slick, what's going to be a daily driver on summer days for me. The interior is still a little messy, but it's a cool car. And the nuts and bolts are, if you're going to get a Holley system, if you're considering this system, if it works, that's great. But if it doesn't work, you're on your own. I've got no support that's been meaningful, and I'm not sure what to do. They're no longer returning my emails. I'm hesitant to call. I don't want to sit and run this car for another 20 minutes while some guy's trying to figure stuff out when it's a fire hazard. I've got so much gas running through this thing. The exhaust system is full of fuel right now, and the plugs are soaked, and it's just pouring gas. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. The weather here is getting very nice. This is a car that needs to be driven, and I want to get it on the road. So I want you guys to know that I've seen a lot of the Holley videos make this look really easy. They're good videos. The guys do a good job with them. But I got to tell you something. The installs are a little more difficult than they lay out. They are straightforward, but it is a lot of work. I'd be hard-pressed to do this on a weekend. I think you're going to need a lot more time than that. But I'm at a point where my system doesn't work. I'm not sure if the Sniper unit itself is bad. The amount of fuel running through here, I can't imagine it's a sensor issue, because it is just, you can just look into, if you just look into the ports, I'm not going to fire it up. It's just pouring fuel into it. There is a bit of a pulse to it, so you can see that the injectors are firing, but they're just firing massive amounts of fuel. This is not a flattering review for Holley. I'm a big Holley fan. I've been using Holley carbs most of my life. In cars, I could rebuild a little vacuum secondary four-barrel with my eyes closed. But at this point, they've lost me unless they can pull a rabbit out of the hat and get this thing running, because all in with the wrong fuel tank and all the crap and everything involved just on the Sniper system, I'm well over $2,000 into this. And I have a car that absolutely will not run, and I have a company that absolutely will not get back to me. It's just so frustrating to sit there and you send notes out and you're hoping, because if you own a cool vintage car with a big ass engine that's really fast, it is fun to drive. And it's sitting here parked, and my summers are short, so I want to get this thing on the road. So anyhow, I'm going to wait a little bit and see if they get back with me. If not, I'm pulling the system off. I'm putting a Quadrajet on it, and I'm going to talk to an attorney, and I'll send it back to him and basically demand my money back for the system. I can't get my time back, but post your comments if you want to ask me questions, more detail about this. I'm I'll share as much as I can. I'm not a guy out there saying Holley sucks or I'm bashing Holley. I'm just saying in this case, this product is failing, and their service has just failed tremendously, and it's really, really disappointing. It's a company that I've always trusted. I've always used their products. So anyhow, post comments if you want, and I will try to respond to them. Thanks.